up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello and welcome to Throwback Thursday. This is a series on my channel that I started as a way to get used to have the older eyeshadow palettes in my collection. So the way this works is every Sunday I post a bonus video with the footage of me going through my entire collection and pulling the 4 palettes that y'all will have to choose from. From there, I post a poll over my community section with the names and pictures of each of the palettes. I give y'all a few days to vote, and that brings us to today. Since it's October, we're playing with spooky palettes all month long. We've already gotten to play with Strange and Unusual from Bella Beauty Bar, Devour from Unearthly. Last week was Twisted Tea Party from Strange and Unusual, and our winner this week is none other than the Glamlite x Chucky Crazy in Love palette. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little surprised to see that this one won. It was pretty close, but still, nonetheless, I'm excited to play with this one because I don't play with this one very often. It's very dark, it's very gray leaning, and that's two things that I don't normally go for very often. I do really like the color story in here, but I've often said that this is more of a companion palette for me. I like to bring it in if I want a little bit of darkness, or I like to bring in something lighter to lighten this up a bit. But we're gonna go in with this palette. We're gonna do something dark and smoky, and I kind of think we're gonna go with some gray tones, which is very out of character for me. But let's go ahead and prime my eyes, zoom in, and get into creating our look. All right, y'all, let's dive in and start creating our look. So I think I'm gonna be a little bit bold and start with this gray shade right here. This one is called Good Guys. Now I have already primed my eyes with my MAC paint pot in the shade Painterly per usual, and I'm gonna pick that shade up with an M504 brush from Morphe, and I'm gonna start to put this in the crease of my lid. I don't normally go for grays. They're not a shade that I particularly like on myself. I know I've had a lot of you tell me that they look good on me, and I've done a few looks lately with some grays in them that I've been really fond of, so I'm kind of coming around. Maybe my makeup preferences are changing because I'm really starting to enjoy cool tones just in general all around a little bit more than I used to. I've always been a warm tone girly, and there's something about these cool tones lately that are just trending and everybody is falling for that I'm kind of jumping on board a little bit. All right, so next I want to go into this really pretty wine shade over here. This one is called Till Death Do Us Part. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that up with a Singe Beauty EO6 brush, and I'm going to kind of pat this in my outer corner. I don't want to build up the pigmentation too much. I am going to take this really dark out here, but I want to start to just kind of pat this shade all over, and then once I have it down, I want to kind of soften it and disperse it and give it as much of a light wash as I possibly can. I'm going to bring it up into that crease as well and just keep blending and building and packing until I have what I want. Now, in all honesty, I bought this palette strictly because it was Chucky themed. I love a good horror movie. I love spooky season. I love everything about spooky season except for the actual Halloween holiday itself. I'm not a big fan of the costumes and the trick-or-treating and all of that. It's just not a favorite. It never has been. Even when my kids were little, I've never really enjoyed it. Like, I did it when I was a kid and I had fun, but it's changed so much that it's just not nearly as fun as it used to be, and I don't look forward to it. But everything else about this time of year I really love and I really enjoy it. But like I said, I bought this because it was a Chucky themed palette, and at that point there weren't really any other horror themed palettes out, like based off of franchises. Obviously now Glamlite has brought us a slew of them, and I have just about every single one of them. I did not pick up the Good Guys palette because the color story in there was very like Crayola crayon box colors. It just didn't really, I know it goes with the theme, but it just didn't really resonate to me. And I haven't picked up the new Trick or Treat palette. I love the color story in that one, and I'm debating it, but I think that's one that I might pick up if they do another collection that I'm interested in, just because one, we're right at the end of October, and if I do order that one, it's not going to be here till probably right at Halloween, and I have everything scheduled for the rest of October. I know exactly what I'm gonna do, and I wouldn't get to that one until November, and I already have some spooky season stuff going over into November, so I just really wasn't feeling it right now. But the color story in that one, like I said, is absolutely beautiful. Alright, so next we're going to go into this deeper wine shade right here. This one is called Play Pals. So I'm going to pick that one up with my Morphe M506 brush, and we're going to start to build up this outer corner a little bit more. This is not the darkest I'm going to take it, so I'm going to bring this kind of far over, not all the way over as far as I did that last shade, but a little far in, and I am going to actually bring this one down onto my outer portion of my lower lash line as well, just building up some more of that depth down here, and then we'll go back in later with something else down here. But like I said, I purchased this because it was a horror themed movie. I love horror movies. I love spooky season, but Chucky is actually not my favorite like spooky season movie. I'm more of a Scream, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street kind of girl. I don't do scary clowns. I know I've said that before, and I don't do scary leprechauns. There's something about it that just terrifies me. So I've never seen the Terrifier movies. I don't plan on seeing the Terrifier movies. I've heard the new one is going to be pretty terrifying. But other than that, I'll watch pretty much anything, and I love it. In fact, I just rewatched all of the Saw movies. I know those are kind of, you know, you either love them or you hate them, and I don't mind them. I always like to see if I can figure out like where they're going with it, especially the newer ones. I don't remember those very well. I remember the first one really, really well, but I didn't really remember the first one, so it's always fun to kind of sit and see if you can figure out the puzzle. I haven't seen the very newest one yet. I think it's called Saw X or something like that, but I want to. It's definitely on my wish list. Okay, we're gonna deepen this up a little bit more, and we're gonna go into this shade right here, which looks like a black, but it's actually like a really, really, really deep purple shade. This one is called I Like to Be Hugged. And I'm going to pick that shade up with my Sigma E42 brush, and we're just going to build up a slight little bit right here in the outer corner. I don't even know if this is going to do anything. The shades in here are so dark that the more you stack, you kind of start running out of depth, but it's definitely giving me a little something. And I'm just going to build up this corner right here. But I want to hear from y'all. I want to know if you're like a fan of spooky season, horror movies, Halloween, the whole thing, what your favorite like spooky franchise is. I'm not a fan of Friday the 13th. I've watched them all and they're very campy. I like campy, don't get me wrong, but I just don't see the hype behind them. Like the more you watch, the worse they get, and I don't know. I'm not a fan of them. I think they're really stupid. The first one I like. I think most people do. It's got Kevin Bacon in it. Who doesn't like Kevin Bacon? But after that, you lost me. They're all the same, and then they get out of control and ridiculous. And I know you can say the same thing for Halloween, but it doesn't get nearly as ridiculous as Friday the 13th. I mean, they bring him back from the dead. They put him in outer space. I don't know. It's a whole thing, and it's just not for me. For the rest of the lower lash line, I want to go into this desaturated cool tone purple shade down here. This one is called Let's Be Friends. So I'm going to pick that up with a Singe Beauty EO3 brush, and I am just going to fluff this right along the rest of my lower lash line. I'm going to go in very light-handed. I want to get as light of a wash as this shade as I possibly can. I don't want to take it too dark down here. I don't want to look like I have raccoon eyes or I've got punched in the face or anything like that. And this is one of those shades that on my cool undertone fair skin, it can definitely get away and leave me looking very bruisey. All right, for all over the lid, we're gonna go into this metallic shimmer right here. This one is called It's Showtime. I went ahead and primed my eyes with my NYX glitter primer already, and I'm actually gonna use my finger to pick this up and apply it to my lid. I've been using my BK Beauty 203 brush lately, but it's dirty and I forgot to spot clean it really quick. So we're just gonna go in with a finger, but we're gonna take this and we're gonna put it pretty much all over my lid, but I'm gonna leave open the tiniest little portion right there because I want to go in with that silver shimmer shade for the inner corner and just kind of blend everything together. And I might put a little bit of that silver over top the rest of this just so it's not so dark. I'm not a fan of really dark shimmers on the lid. I like to have that lightness and brightness to kind of open everything up, but it is spooky season and this is very on theme. I do like that shade, it's pretty. All right, so with my Singe Beauty EO1 brush, I'm gonna go into this silver shade right here, which is called Wanna Play. I'm just gonna pick it up real good on my brush. I'm gonna spray it with a little bit of Matte Fix Plus, and I'm gonna start by popping this on my inner corner. And then once I have it down, I'm gonna start to blend it onto my lid and kind of overlapping it on top that last shade that I just put down, just because I want to lighten this up a little bit. This is really, really dark, and while I do think it looks really pretty, I just want to lighten up this inner section just a little bit. So I'm not bringing it far over, I'm not overlapping over everything, I'm just kind of giving a nice gradient to my lid. Alright y'all, so this is the completed look and I like it. It's very dark, very vampy, not something I usually do, but I think it turned out absolutely beautiful. And I have to be honest, I love the combination of like the purple wine shades with the gray and the silver. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I told y'all I'm coming around to grays a little bit, but I want to go over what I used to finish off this look so we can turn down the lights, you can see the shimmer and the sparkle, and then we can close out this video. So in my lower waterline, and I kind of tight lined right under my lash line on my lid as well, I went in with the Victoria Beckham Satin Kajal Liner in the shade Bordeaux. I went ahead and skipped liquid liner because we're dark enough. I didn't think I needed it, and I just finished everything off with my Huda Beauty One Coat Wow Mascara. Alright y'all, so that is going to complete this week's Throwback Thursday video, and I hope y'all enjoyed it. I actually had a really good time stepping out of my comfort zone and creating a look that I wouldn't normally go for. Like I said, grays and dark shimmers are not my thing, but I think this one turned out absolutely beautiful, and I'm really excited I get to wear this for the rest of the day. But let me know all of your thoughts down below. What palette did you vote on? What do you think of the look? And as always, if there's an eyeshadow palette you want to see included in Throwback Thursday, leave it down in that comment section, and if I have it in my collection, I am more than happy to include it. But let's have that conversation, light up that comment section, and as always, I want to thank you all so much for watching my video and spending your time with me. It truly does mean so much to me. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up before you leave. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click on that notification bell so that you can be notified of all my future posts here on my channel. I do post quite a few videos every single week, and I wouldn't want you to miss one. But until my next video, have a good one. Bye.